How you doing, everyone? Welcome back. A lot of conspiracy theories going around about what's going on with President Biden right now, since he's got COVID and he's been out of the public eye for a little bit. Um, Probably because he has COVID. I mean, he's not a young man, as we all know. I mean, he is what, 81, 82 years old, something like that. Uh, but people on the right are demanding proof of life. Um, well, he did call in to a campaign event for Kamala Harris, so there's that. But let's go ahead and reject that, right? We'll just say that conspiratorially speaking, it was pre-recorded, it wasn't really him, whatever, blah, 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 blah. Okay, how about this for proof of life? If he was dead, Kamala Harris would have been sworn in as president. Just a thought. You think? Maybe? No, we can't have that. No, I mean, we can't. I'm sorry, I got distracted by my cat down here, actually. This is my girl Penelope. You're going to ask me probably, how many of those things do you have? Well, I have 5 of them. Yeah, this is my girl right here. But anyway, proof of life. Kamala Harris has not been sworn in. Well, she wants back down. All right. When a president dies, the vice president becomes president. That's just kind of the way it works. I mean, the last time that happened, of course, was in 1963. And Lyndon Johnson was sworn in on an airplane that day. Of course, the last time a president died, and it was not an assassination, was 1945. And Harry Truman immediately assumed the presidency. So, stop with your conspiratorial nonsense, because that's all it is. It's just nonsense. I think a lot of it is that they're afraid. The Republicans, I believe, are afraid. Why do I believe that? Well, they're out there, they're throwing a fit about how Biden has dropped out of the race. Keep in mind, it was the Republicans who claimed that the last election was stolen. The Republicans are the ones who say such thing as, we're a republic, not a democracy. As if those two things can't coexist, as if they're mutually exclusive. We are a constitutional republic that has democratic elections. Therefore, yes, we are a republic. And yes, we are a democracy. I don't know why that's so hard to understand. You can be both. It's entirely possible, and in fact, almost by necessity, if you're a republic, you have to be a democracy. That's just kind of the way it works. So you're terrified of Kamala Harris. Trump is out there whining about, not just Trump, but his surrogates as well, out there whining about the fact that the votes of millions of Americans have been ignored. They basically threw out the votes of millions of Americans who voted in the primary. What if I told you in the primaries you're not voting for a candidate, you're voting for delegates? Delegates can be released. In fact, Nikki Haley received delegates in the Republican primaries. She released her delegates to vote for Donald Trump if they so chose. Joe Biden is able to release his delegates. Those delegates, I believe, will vote for the vice president. They could vote for someone else if they decide to throw their hat in the ring. I don't think that will happen, or at least nobody credible. If anybody does, it'll probably be Joe Manchin, who has indicated that he's going to rejoin the Democrats so that he can try to get the nomination. He doesn't have the support, I'll guarantee it. He is he's basically an old school Republican with the name Democrat, but well, of course he's left of today's Republicans, which makes him just this outright radical leftist, of course, even though he's center-right. Probably more right than center, but anyway. It's kind of rich, don't you think, for the party that tried to overthrow an election, a legitimate election. They tried to just throw it out, disenfranchise the votes of millions of voters. You know, I mean, Pennsylvania, Arizona, Georgia, Michigan, Wisconsin. Let's just throw out all of their votes because, you know, we don't believe that our guy actually lost because he said months in advance that the only way he could lose was through fraud. Never mind the fact that he had been saying that since he came down that escalator in 2015. The only way he can lose is through fraud. Why has he never won the popular vote? I get it, the popular vote doesn't determine the presidency. Personally, I would recommend reforming the Electoral College, not throwing it out, but reforming it. In order for it to more accurately reflect the popular vote. I think that would be easier than a constitutional amendment just scrapping it all together and going with a straight popular vote, and it would also be more practical in terms of counting the votes, if there were to be a recount, but I'm off on a tangent right now. I might discuss that in a later video. Actually, I will discuss that later because I've actually been working on that content for really just kind of for my own curiosity. But anyway, again, I'm still off on a tangent. Why, Republicans, are you so upset about the candidate that you said should drop out, dropping out? I mean, are you afraid of losing? Maybe. Maybe it's not like you've won anything, really. I mean, yes, you won the presidency in 2016 through the Electoral College, which is a legitimate win, according to our system. But since then, I mean, since Trump has been on the political scene after being elected president, Republicans lost in 2018, 2020, 2022. There were a couple of off-year elections. I think Virginia. They had their gubernatorial election, I think, in 21 or 23, an odd numbered year. I don't remember which one. I want to say it was 21. My memory is not the best on that. Correct me in the comments if you know for sure. I mean, I know for sure. I'm just kind of blanking here. But anyway, if you've got the best candidate and the best ideas, why are you so afraid of the candidate that you said should drop out actually dropping out and being replaced with someone else that, first of all, you think is illegitimate, and second of all, is insane and crazy and has a funny laugh, and third, can't win? I mean, if she can't win, why are you afraid? That's just a question I have on that. So, that's my thought on it. What's yours? Leave me a comment. Until then, I'll see you next time.